Just in time. I was struggling to open up that bottle of Blanton's here, but got it open before I got on video. Got a nice little pigskin batch here. But yeah, hello, welcome to On the Wrong Leads Friday preview show. We're gonna be a little short staffed today because Mark is on assignment out in, I don't know, St. Martin or something. I forgot where he's at. But he's out on the islands. He's celebrating a wedding. He is putting together a group ticket still somehow. But yeah, should be fun. Joining me as usual, Mr. BD Horse Player. Brian, how you doing?
Man, probably better than Josh. I mean, you're Josh. I mean, Mark. Mark's sitting in the nice Caribbean, and we're sitting here in the Illinois and Indiana suburbs, freezing. I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it.
I had to turn the heat on finally, and I told my wife, I was like, the thermostat was at 58. Like we had to turn this thing on, and she's like, 58? That sounds amazing. And now you see why I am wearing a hoodie next to literally a space heater that is my computer. So
it's only November. You're in trouble. They're calling for a horrible winter. So
they always call for a horrible winter. Speaking of horrible winter, Caleb. I'm sure you get real chilly down there in Louisiana.
Yeah, I got my my jacket on too. It was down to I think like the 60s today, so it was brisk.
Road Warrior's already here saying hello, fellow D-Gens. What's up, Road Warrior? Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. Weather's funny. Like, I think it's just one of those things where you just you get used to it. There's a podcast I listened to of a bunch of people who moved from Kentucky. Yeah, it was either Kentucky or Tennessee. They moved to Vegas, and they were like, "Yeah, we were totally cool with the winters and 30s, 20s, occasional snow. That was fine." It's like now they're like, "Yeah, it's 70 degrees out. We got to wear jeans and a long sleeve." And I was just like, I don't know if I'd ever get that crazy, but. Sure, being around it's different. Hello, Robin joining us here on YouTube as well. So we got a couple people in here, but I don't know, did either of you guys play any Del Mar today?
I did not today. No, I looked at yesterday a touch, but nothing today.
No, I did not either. I threw that one entry in for the stable duel for the memorial for the Miguel Mena, but other than that, I played nothing, man.
Yeah, I watched a couple of races at the end of the day. I was trying to wrap up as much stuff as I could with work, so that way I would be unobtrude, no intrusions tomorrow. And it looked pretty fast. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But we got Ben and Rob also saying hello. Rob Benefil, shout out to who you got there. And then what's Rotor saying? Oh, he's got to leave. He got invited to he's got his own BC show to do. So you'll have to toss the link up, Rotor, and we can watch it after we're done here. But yeah, so Friday. I mean, I hate to say it, but Friday is always a day I'm really that meme they got of the what's the movie? Shit, I don't even remember. But it's there's this meme where the guy's going to the casino and it's shit, Dumb and Dumber, right? And they're all happy and it's leaving the casino and it's they're all driving in the car looking all sad. I feel like that's what Friday always is. I'm always super excited to bet against some of these favorites, and then of course the horse I want to key, just I don't know, Dennis's moments himself out of the race. And I don't expect tomorrow to be any different, but I mean, I'm still gonna throw pick 5 together. I'm sure here starting with race 6. So that's not the right button.
No. I might be the only one who doesn't look forward to the Friday at Breeders' Cup. It's just there's so many unknowns. I don't enjoy it.
I probably put twice as much time into the Friday card as I do Saturday, and I probably do twice as bad. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. That's how
They're
that's
just
how,
hard. I mean, the juvenile race at 2-year-olds in general are hard, and then you have all these European 2-year-olds, and it's tough. It's a tough card.
I mean, that's how it kind of feels. Oh, Gene's already saying, let's not be negative already.
Well,
Yeah, Gene.
that was my fault. I deserve it.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, it's good racing. So I'm always happy for some good racing. I don't know. I'm making it a point, at least this year, to be extremely skinny and extremely light. And of course, I'm saying this right before I get in the heat of the moment, and like I see some horse I like float up, and I just toss some stupid win bet on it. But I'm trying to stay skinny, trying to stay pretty light on Friday. And it's going to start off. This sequence starts off with a. I mean, Caleb, I know you love 2-year-old stakes races, but how about 2-year-old 5-furlong sprints on the turf?
Yeah.
And with what is it? 14 horses? It's 12 horses plus AEs. Yeah, this is a tough race. So Caleb, what are you thinking here to start off the sequence?
Oh boy. Yes, this is a tough race. You're not wrong. So, kind of the way I looked at this race was leaning on history a little bit. So this race hasn't been around for a ton of time. I mean, I think it's been 3 years, maybe 3 or 4 years. And, in those 3 or 4 years, it's been pretty much dominated by the Americans. 5 furlong turf sprints, that turn comes up on you awful quick. And, you need to get into the race quick. If you miss the break or if you're slow out of the gate, you lose a lot of grounds, you lose positions, and there just isn't enough race left to make it up. So I tend to prioritize the Americans in these races. Not to say that, I'll toss all the Europeans, because there actually are a couple that I think are interesting here. But I probably do need to demand a price, and if I'm going to go for a European horse in this race. With all that being said, I think the race does probably go through Wesley Ward here. I actually prefer the 6-horse Twilight Gleaming to the 8-horse Averly Jane. Twilight Gleaming was really kind of supposed to be Wesley Ward's horse. I mean, this horse, went off at crazy short odds in her first 2 starts. He sent this horse over to Ascot, where she went off just over 2-1 and ran a really good second place in the Queen Mary. She then went on to Deauville and won a race as a pretty heavy favorite there over soft turf. I think she gets back to the firm turf today at Del Mar, which I think she's going to like. Quite similar to what she got at Belmont, actually. She has good speed, doesn't need the lead here. Should be able to get a good position. And I really just felt like this was kind of the Wesley Ward horse that is the one that you want. Whereas the other one, the 8 Averly Jane, is a nice horse in her own right and has done legitimately nothing wrong. But, I just have some reservations about, who she's kind of beating. She runs her first 2 races on dirt. She's actually entered as an MTO in the Skidmore for some reason, which is a turf race at Saratoga. She finally gets put on the turf last out, and I was heavily against her in the Indian Summer, where she just crushed that field. But again, I don't think that was a very good field. She had everything her own way. Maybe she does it again. I mean, I'm not saying she can't. I'll use her on some tickets for sure. But of the 2 Wesley Wards, you just need that early gate speed, and they both have it. And I prefer Twilight Gleaming a little more to Averly Jane. But unfortunately, I think that they are your most likely winners, despite the fact they're kind of chalky.
Yeah, man, Averly Jane. I was when I heard the name, I was like, man, I feel like I've seen this horse run before. That was the Outador race, wasn't it? Or the Overboard race, wasn't it?
Was.
It was the Overboard race. Oh man, Brian, what are you thinking here?
Man, I'm probably a little bit different. I'm not going to steal your thunder here, Josh, because I think I know where you're going. But I'll have some conversation about that one. I was trying to make an argument for the 1 Twilight Jet. I really was. The thing that puts me off on this horse is having ran 10 times as a 2-year-old. That I had said last week, I like finding the horses that are lightly raced as 2-year-olds. This is a lot of work for a 2-year-old to have done so far. So I'm a little concerned on how the horse is going to be at this point. Never mind shipping over and then making the 11th start of the 2-year-old campaign just seems crazy to me. But so if I had to like a contest type play or a mythological type play, I'd probably play the 1 Twilight Jet. I'm not a real big fan of Twilight Gleaming, despite Caleb liking. I thought the horse made some sense, but then in all the starts, the horse has been regressing. I'm not sure why. Caleb's the smart one. Okay, well, soft grass versus firm grass. Maybe that's why. But, the horse went from Belmont and looked pretty good, then went to Europe. And I was in the money, but the figures came back soft. So is that a turf issue? I don't know. I'm not the smart European one here. So I'm probably going to play against Twilight Gleaming. I'm looking for a price to come through here. Obviously, Josh, I'll probably have a little bit on your horse, but I won't say it till later because I don't want to be like Mark and steal your thunder. But if this was to go crazy, I mean, the 5, I think the 5 has been slowly improving, hierarchy, slowly improving, but you look, you're like, okay, Hugo Palmer, there's nothing to go off of from that trainer. So it's like, what do you expect? How does he ship? What does he do? I don't know. The notes in time form looked like the 5 could be there. And the 5, if you look at Thoroughgraph, has made 4 starts pretty close together and then got like 7 weeks off. Is now coming back after running a career top. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if something chaotic happened, if hierarchy at double digits finds the board and maybe wins.
Yeah, looking at chat here, we got a couple comments. Gene said he's got a horse in the juvie. He's just really excited, and we're gonna make fun of him for. But he, I think he likes hierarchy. He's got a smiley face next to it, so maybe he's picking up what you're putting down there.
Could be making fun of me. I don't know.
Oh, he could be. I don't know.
Could be a laughing smiley.
Yeah. Ben Taylor loves the 2 here. That is Coffee Maker. The other Wesley Ward. He's got what, 3 in here? Or has he got 4? I think he's got 3 here. Yeah.
Yep.
And then Road Warrior says he'd love the 11 if Rosario wasn't on, which I think is just kind of an insane comment to make. No offense, Road Warrior, but I feel like Joel Rosario on turf sprints is usually a plus sign, and in the West Coast, he's even better. I mean, I know all the other jocks are shipping over, so maybe he doesn't have as big of an advantage, but I don't know. He's always done really well out West. But yeah, I mean, the 11 was definitely a horse that I was thinking about using. The one I think European you guys kind of didn't talk about was the 7 Armor. I thought Armor fit here a little bit. It's kind of like probably be a horse I use kind of as like a B type here. I was interested in your 1 as well, Twilight Jet. Just I think the inside's where you want to be on these turf sprints, right, Caleb?
Yeah, inside 3 post won something like 60% of all turf sprints at Del Mar over the summer. Like, it was a consistent, just crazy advantage all summer to be drawn inside in the turf sprints.
Yeah, and I mean, on time form, the horse looks good. The 1,
right?
I think he fits. And 15-1. I mean, I doubt you get that. I think I've seen a lot of chatter, especially in like the circles that we kind of run in. A lot of people really like this horse, so I would. This will probably be, I think, maybe the wise guy horse in the spot.
The only thing that put me off, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, is if you look at the way the horses ran. I pulled Mark. Sorry.
Yeah, you did.
You totally did. Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Well, Mark's not here, so someone's got to do it.
The horse's best efforts have been on yielding grass, which is a concern for the Del Mar turf. Sorry, Josh.
No, you're good. Oh yeah, Gene's actually making some good points here. He says you want to be inside on turf sprints. 5 has tactical speed, and everything will be in front of him. He's a serious play for him. So yeah.
Cheers, Gene.
Yeah,
I love the 5 actually. I don't love the 5. He's my favorite European in the race. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, Gene saying the 7 to 14 post went 4 for 73 over the previous meet in turf sprint. So something to keep in mind. Which doesn't bode well for my pick here, the 9 one timer. And I thought I was going to get a better price. I see 4 to 1 here. I think Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong. Overseas, it's closer to like 7 to 1.
Yeah,
I think on this
you'll get
9.
better than that. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's about the price I think I would need on one timer. I've been saying I'm going to single this horse. I probably won't really. I mean, it might be a press ticket, but I'll definitely use. I really like the 1, especially with the post position bias and the speed figures on that 1. But yeah, if this 9 runs back to any of his figs that were on synthetic, which I know is a completely different surface, he is like he looks really good. No, it is he. He looks really good, and I mean, gonna be tough to beat. I mean, there's a lot of speed signed up here, but I mean, it's still a 5 for a long turf sprint. I mean, I think speed is still king in those types of races. So I'm gonna take a shot with this 9. My love for Ravelli has no bounds. So definitely going to be a lot of money pressing through that here. Road Warrior saying a 5 furlong in a big field. He thinks Rosario will be too far back for no reason. If he's ridden the horse the way he has two out of 3 times so far, that's fine. He's concerned he won't. I'm interested in the 11. The post scares me a little bit, but I think at the same time for the run style and the way that Rosario rides, it might not even matter. He'll get this horse on the inside and maybe he'll be able to navigate through some traffic. But yeah, I'm more interested in more inside horses like the 1. I'm gonna actually mark down this 5. You guys have convinced me to take another look at this 5. So we'll kind of go from there.
The 5 is one of those horses on time for him that if it takes another step forward, is going to be right there, and that's the whole thing. At 12 to 1, when you see what you see against the horses that are going to take money, the 6 and the 8, you're like, okay, let's make an excuse to find a double-digit winner. But I don't think that horse goes off at 12 to 1.
Yeah, and I mean, like for me, at least in this sequence, it's a little bit game theory, right? I like some chalk later on in the sequence, so this is going to be a place where I kind of try and take a stand, try and zig, and basically avoid the Wesley Wards. I mean, maybe I include the 2 just because, but I mean, I still think the two needs to improve quite a bit. I think to kind of be in the same league as some of these other horses. So, but.
And I wouldn't call anybody crazy if you tossed both the 6 and the 8 here and went 6 wide trying to find a price here, because on Thoroughgraph the 6 and the 8 are not that much better here, and they're going to be covered on 70% of the tickets.
Yeah, that's kind of what I found interesting and a bit of a challenge for this race is that the Europeans come into this race, by and large, faster than the Americans. But historically, the Europeans have been terrible in this race. I think they've had 15 starters and they've managed 2 third-place finishes at best. No one else hit the board. And there's been some nice, not top tier, but some nice enough Europeans that have shipped over for that. So, a horse like Armory, I would love if this was maybe 6 furlongs at Belmont, but getting a tight 5 at Del Mar, I just don't know. Same argument really for maybe Go Bears Go, although he does have more tactical speed. That's kind of why I like the 2 Euros we've talked about, Twilight Jet and Hierarchy. I think they both have enough speed and they're drawn well enough to maybe work something out. But it's a tricky race on what do you got, figures, history, connections, or anything else.
Apparently, our boy Fu he loves Armor. He's getting on a plane per you, Brian. So
he's heading the Breeders' Cup. So
nice. He
just messaged me and said, "Hey, I like Armor. I don't think my messages are coming through." So,
So for people, if anyone's watching on Twitter, I don't know what it is about Twitter now, but they changed their stream stuff. So if you want to chat, YouTube's the best way. I can't even see if anybody's even watching on Twitter now, so it's kind of weird.
They probably aren't.
No, they probably aren't. Gene says for the exotic players, he said take a look at the 10 who proved they can run big off the pace, might easily trip out. And yeah, Gene also mentioned in the pick 5 pools, Avery Jane will be grossly overplayed.
Yep.
And I think that's something to think about, right? It's especially at certain points, right? If you feel like, hey, Echo Zulu's a lock, or I mean, maybe the Echo Zulu race is one where you kind of take a different stand. But Rob saying Armor is the time form pick. And then I saw Steve Wing posted on Facebook. He says that in Friday's third race, that's the race he likes the best. He thinks the 6 has got a good shot. So he's kind of I haven't really looked at the undercard, but he's like a big switch there. So if you guys are playing the undercard, maybe take a look at this 6 here from Steve. But you guys got anything else on this race?
I think Gene might put us onto something here. Mark down the 10 to circle back and look at that one, Josh. If you look how that horse has rounded into today or tomorrow on the sheets, on Thoroughgraph, whatever you want to call them, that horse might be ready, might be sitting on a big race. I mean, had a pair to start its career, slight improvement at Santa Anita, and now, man, that 10 might be loaded. Just worth doubling back to, making a note. Gene pointed that one out, and I just wanted to call it out because looking back, it's like, crap, how did I miss that one?
Rob saying Full Brother Team Merchants running in race 5, number 11. That was Team Merchants was that 6 horse that won the stakes race today, right? Oh, you guys weren't watching. Never mind. I don't know. I'm asking you. All right. Let's move on to the Juvenile Phillies here. We're going to be going a mile and 16th here on the dirt. I had all this queued up. And your 4 to 5 morning line favorite here is Echo Zulu. Hasn't really done anything wrong in her 3 starts, but I don't know. Caleb, what are you thinking here? You thinking Echo Zulu does it?
So yeah, I mean, if you looked at our chats earlier today, you probably saw me and Brian going back and forth. This was a race where I'm not against Echo Zulu. Truthfully, I'm not. I think she's an excellent filly. She's, like you said, she's done nothing wrong. She's a freak. But to me, she's only marginally more likely to win than either Juju's Map or Hidden Connection. So this was a really tough race for me to approach because I think the top 3 choices are almost identical. So how do you deal with that when one of them's 4 to 5 and the other 2 are 5 to 2 and probably 3 to 1 or something like that? So, I mean, to answer your question, I mean, yeah, she could get it done. I mean, gun to my head, I probably give the nod to Juju's Map just because she's proven around 2 turns, and the Alcibiades is traditionally a pretty good prep for this. Hidden Connection also has the 2-turn win, but don't know that she was beating a whole lot in that race. Echo Zulu might be the class, but hasn't gone 2 turns, and with the way the Asmussen barn has been going, I don't know. So yeah, I would give it to Juju, but I do think Echo Zulu could certainly win.
Brian,
something I just thought about, and Santana Jr. lost the mount to Echo Zulu earlier this week, whenever it was, and everybody made such a big deal about, Asmussen took him off the horse. Perhaps Santana couldn't get another mount in the Breeders' Cup, and he asked to come off this mount. So I just want to put that out loud. I was thinking about that earlier. It's like, maybe something different changed there. But I think Caleb's probably right. Echo Zulu's the class here. But, if you look at time form, there's still a lot closer race, and I think people are going to play it. I think people are going to expect Echo Zulu to romp by 4 or 5 lengths, but there's a few here I think could surprise. I mean, I'm trying to make an argument right now for Sequist at 15 to 1 just because I'm an idiot, because this feels like one of those races where maybe Florent tries to go a Juju, Rosario tries to stalk a little bit, doesn't give Echo the perfect trip, maybe something crazy happens. I don't know, but man, I won't have any win bets in this race at all. I probably don't even play an exacta, but I'd be hard, man. This has been a very hard race for me to get an opinion on it, and I wish it wasn't. There's 6 horses here, and I want to say, okay, toss Echo Zulu and see what happens. That's what I want to say. And, theoretically for a value play and to get the horizontal that pays the best, that should be the approach I take, because I don't think Echo Zulu is all that great on paper. So can I just say, give me the field against the Echo Zulu, and we'll just go from there, because I can't decide.
I mean, honestly, I think that it's a 2-horse race, and I think it's either the 5 or the 6, and I think you pick one. But I mean, it depends. Once again, it depends on your opinions and the rest of the sequence, right? Like, you don't want to bite off your nose you don't want to rip your nose off to spite your face. So, yeah, I don't know. The 5 has run just a race just as fast as the 6, and is going to be 3 times the price, right? You're probably going to get 5-2, 3-1 on Juju's map, and Echo Zulu is going to be 3-5, 4-5. So, I mean, from a game theory, from a percentages standpoint, right? If they have an equal chance of winning, I mean, you press the 5, but it. I don't know. I like the 6 has looked really good. Hasn't done anything wrong, but like, I don't know if I'm getting a little Princess Noor vibes here, where like, keeps winning but isn't that fast. Now, Princess Noor is a little different though. Princess Noor was markedly slower than the competition in those races, but Echo Zulu is really only just as fast as everybody else. So, yeah, and Gene says that he thinks that L and N and Winchell paired together tell Asperson they want to make a change. Can I tell you one thing though? If Ricardo had a mount in this race, I would have just like nothing would have made me feel way better than just seeing Ricardo win this race with after getting taken off the mount, because I just love when these connections just like overthink their thing. Who's the other one? I mean, you see it happen in the Derby all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see these like these jocks from these like mid-tier places, like Mitchell Merle, right? Rode I forgot the horse it was, but he rode the horse every time in all the Derby points races, like finished 2nd or 3rd in like all of them, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna put Mike Smith aboard or whatever, like your horse isn't winning, so at least let freaking Mitchell ride the damn horse. Like, I don't know, man. It just kills me when connections do that. But like, I don't know. See, I don't own horses. I don't really ever have a desire to own horses. I don't like, so like, to me, this is all, this is just me like sitting on the sidelines, throwing a hot dog at somebody or something, like it doesn't matter. But like, I don't know. There's a little bit of that like justice porn you get out of seeing someone get taken off a mount and then winning on the other one. So,
see, I'd be the opposite. I'd have the thorograph in my hand, yelling at the Hall of Fame trainer, "Look at this! You're 4% with this jockey. Why do I have this jockey?" I'd be that. I would be that owner, and they'd be like, "I'm smarter than you. You're a Hall of Famer, but I've been reading the forum for 15 years. I'm smarter than you."
All right, so Caleb, if I gave you Echo Zulu or the field, you're taking the field?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing for you, Brian?
I am. The hard part is, I could probably toss the 1 out, and the 1's the only horse I'm comfortable tossing out right now. Hitting connection, the 2, as much as I want that horse to win, the horse has never raced in anywhere with like faster fractions that the horse is going to have or she's going to have tomorrow. So why not 2, 3, 4, 5? If any of those horses come in, you're going to be paid double what you might have been in equity, just because of the number of tickets they're going to be looking at Echo Zulu as a single.
Yeah, it seems like Rob's like into Robbie here. I'll tell you the one horse that I might be a little interested in as a sneaky, maybe underneath, maybe the win. I mean, if you really want some type of long shot, would be this 3 Sequest. But like, you're talking like, hey, like this thing melts, which I don't know. I don't necessarily see. I mean, it's a small field, so I mean, Echo Zulu could get out to the lead, and everyone might rate. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with these small fields? But I'm kind of with you guys. I would take the field over Echo Zulu. But you were going to say, Bren?
No, you were saying that Echo Zulu may get out and everybody else rates. Joel is riding Echo Zulu. I mean, he may try to close. You never
Dude,
know.
let's not talk about that ride on Latruska earlier this year because I'm still fucking salty about that.
If they break and he's 9 lengths back at the quarter, that's it.
Yeah. Road Warrior says Sharp works on the 4. He wishes her 2 races were just a tad faster, but maybe improve the time off. And then Gene coming in saying DeVoe off this type of layoff in this particular race seems like a stretch. So
it does. I mean, if you look at I keep going back to the Thoroughgraph though, but the horse made a logical start, a nice improvement, then got a long time off. Unfortunately, Sherry's not known for a layoff performance, and this is a tall order.
Man, Brian, like you really just like made the laps with products, huh? You've been quoting
I'm all over the place,
Thoroughgraphs. I'm waiting for the bet mix discussion. So, I'm waiting for
the race lens.
Yeah.
So I told you, I started looking at the races today, and I don't like to use a lot of products normally, but for Breeders' Cup, why not? With the Europeans, there's too many questions that I couldn't get answered with one product. So I went shopping, and I don't regret it because there's certain things that jump out at you. I mean, the horse I tossed on DRF, perfect example was the last race with DRF. The speed figures were 10 points off on a horse compared to 2 other products. I'm like, why? I couldn't figure it out. So it happens.
All right. Gene says he thinks this is the best race here.
He's talking about the Phillies turf.
Philly. Yeah, it's coming up. Sorry, I realized I scrolled down. Rob's saying that he's going to be 2.45, and he's going to be 2.5 in the. I'm guessing he's talking about the Phillies there. But the Phillies turf here, Juvenile Phillies turf. We might have to start off with the resident Euro expert here, Caleb, and see what you can tell us about these horses here. But I'll go first. I really like the 5 here. I really like Bubble Rock. I think of the 2 Cox horses, I think he is she is set up for this race really nicely, stretching out. But I mean, looking at the pedigree, I don't think distance is going to be any kind of a problem. More than ready on top. I mean, going a mile is no problem, and you got Giants Causeway on the bottom. I mean, I don't know. This is a well-bred miler here, so I don't think the stretch out is going to be a problem. And I think that the horse is going to sit off a little bit. I know it's been running in turf sprints, but closed in those turf sprints off of 2 lengths or so. So I think it's got a decent turn of foot. So I think just going to kind of sit there, sit off, let her stablemate go, set a nice easy pace. I kind of do like the 4 in that kind of 1-2 punch kind of thing where I know Aiden O'Brien does it. Chad's actually started doing this recently because who was that horse? Was it Tributhon or whatever that we thought was like thought it was a rabbit, and he just like went out and wired like a grade 2 or something like that.
Yeah, I think the United Nations or something.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I think Brad Cox is kind of taking that thing. I mean, Turner Loose has wired, or been on the lead in these longer races. Doesn't have sprinter speed, but I think he'll be comfortable getting out there on the front end. And I think Bubble Rock's going to sit just off and has got that turn of foot to maybe close into this pace. So I was also a little interested in the 3 Cashit. Just kind of looking back at the last race, I thought showed a little bit of turn of foot. Kind of chased the pace. I thought ran into a little bit of trouble, but maybe I'm thinking of a different replay, or had to go wide or something. But something that replay stuck out to me a little bit. But I mean, I think the 5 here is my top pick. But Euro Caleb, what do you got here?
I think the home team gets this one. I looked at a long time at all the Euros here, and I just don't think there's any world beaters in here. I guess first off, I do not like Pizza Bianca at all, especially as the favorite. She won't be on any of my tickets. She was beaten by Wild Beauty last out in the Matalma. Wild Beauty missed the start by about 4 lengths. Was dead last, looped the entire field, and still won going away. Wild Beauty then went 2-run in the Phillies Mile at Newmarket next out, and I think she ran 4th or 5th. So she lost to the 3-horse Cachet and the 13-horse Mise en
Place or whatever.
Yeah, Mise en Scène, however you want to say it. So yeah, I mean, to me, that kind of Woodbine form isn't exactly franked when she comes back and gets beat by a relatively average group of European fillies. I did like Mise en Scène a little bit prior to the morning line and the post. She had a little bit of trouble in that Newmarket start back in the Phillies Mile. She just got shuffled toward the rear, didn't really get clear run until it was pretty late. As soon as she did get some clear run, she was a bit late on her lead change. But once they finally set her down, she was gobbling up some ground against a pretty good filly in Spiral. So I kind of liked her, but I don't know if the trouble's baked into the price, or I don't understand 6-1. I was thinking I would probably get double that price, and I'd probably need at least double that price to go for her in the 13 post in this field. So that kind of turned me off from her, and I ended up taking a couple of the Americans here because none of the Europeans really did too much else for me. I mean, I guess you could argue Hello You is maybe okay, but she kind of ran the same race, 4 races in a row, and then all of a sudden took a big step forward last time. I don't know that she can do that again, or if she really wants the firm ground doing 2 turns here. So the 2 horses I ended up on were actually the number 9 Koala Princess. I really like this horse. I just trashed Pizza Bianca, and I don't like this horse. Apparently Rosario agrees with me because he gets off of a Christophe Clement horse who he has a win and a second in a grade 1 in order to get up for Arnaud Delacour, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yep.
Who he doesn't ride for all that often. Delacour does outstanding when he ships. He's excellent going sprinter route. This horse has a win going at Kentucky Downs, going 6.5, which really plays longer than a traditional 6.5 furlongs due to the hills. This horse is versatile, wired the maiden going 5.5, closed from pretty far off the pace last out at Kentucky Downs, has been given some time off for this. Rosario sticks. I really like this horse. Needs to work out a trip because the draw is not ideal, but I do like this horse. And the other one I like is, unfortunately, drawn even more to the outside, which is the 11, Haughty. This horse is just really good. And as much as the stewards have tried to keep this good horse down, this horse is just very fast. I significantly prefer Haughty to Chad Brown's other runner in here, Consumer Spending. I know you get Pratt for the other one, but Consumer Spending has gotten slower in each race. She had to go to Laurel to get some kind of a junkie stakes race. So I'm not interested in her at all. But Haughty, I think, has a much higher ceiling, has much more potential. And quite frankly, on Thoroughgraphs and time form, she's run faster in her last start. So, I don't know what's in those maiden races, but in both of the ones that she's crossed the wire first, she won like you want to see her win. So I think she's very impressive here. She was real green in that start when she bumped a horse going into the turn. Clearly proved that was no fluke. And I think she looks really dangerous in this spot. So those are my 2 top picks. And then I'd have probably a slew of horses I have a little interest in, but those would be my top 2.
I'm laughing because Gene says, oh man, Koala, Caleb, you're maybe the 119th person to pick this one, looking like the favorite at this point. If we look at oddschecker.com, overseas, Koala Princess is currently 13-2 on some places, 7-1 at others, looking to be first or second choice in this race. Consumer Spending looks to be 15-2, 6-1, and Pizza Bianca is anywhere from 13-2 to 8-1 in some places. So they are all kind of vying for favoritism there. Haughty's even getting some love. Who's not getting any love is your 13, Caleb. Mise en Scene, looking like 11-1 overseas. So that
I
might
think that 6-1 was just a bad line.
Yeah,
even before the post, that's a bad line.
That should float up a little bit. And I mean, Bubble Rock is everywhere from 13-2 to 10-1. So either somebody knows something or nobody knows anything. Yeah. Oh yeah. Gene's like, bet that now. Brian, which 30-1 horse are you taking in the spot?
Well, before Gene said shit, I was on Koala. But now I can't play Koala.
Oh, in a rare turn of events, Brian picks the favorite.
Well, not the favorite, 6-1. I mean, the one's the favorite. So I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to go ridiculous on a horse that probably doesn't have a shot that Caleb will hate. But let's go with the 12. I'm not trying to say it. Malafat. You know, if you look at what the horse has done, he's never seen firm turf. Maybe takes to it and can run at 8-1. Ryan Moore's in the mount. Let's be honest, it's her first try at 2 turns. I don't know how crazy I am about that, but Caleb talked about the other 13 entries, and this is the only horse left for me to talk about. Nothing? Damn, man, no. You guys are
no, because Caleb only talked about like 4 horses.
Oh, he mentioned more than 4. I'm just kidding. Come on, man. You guys are so uptight. It's Breeders' Cup. Relax.
I haven't had enough drink yet.
So yeah, if I was going to play a horse, I'd have the 12, the 9. I probably would have to go on your 5, Josh. Bubble Rock. Bubble Rock looks to be out front, but the question I had was about hold on, let me look at what I had here. The 4, the other Brad Cox with Florent aboard. I mean, I don't understand. He's got 2 speed horses here. They both go to the gate, would be my guess. But I try to figure out which one might be better. I mean, the 5 looks quicker, but the 4 looks like maybe the finishers a little, I don't know. Might be able to finish a little bit better. It's interesting to me that Irad versus Florent for Brad Cox and how that kind of worked out. But
yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Gene. I mean, like Gene's talking about this 4. He thinks the 4 wires him. Looking at the E1s, how does he not get a clear lead and just lull him to speed and sleep on the front end? And like, I mean, I really do like the 4 getting out there on the lead. And if nobody presses him, I mean, like, I really do think he's trying to set up for the 5, or at least like give both of his horses a chance to win in the spot. I don't think he's sent like. There is no way that both the 4 and the 5 go.
Right.
There's no way both the 4 and the 5 go.
And that's what threw me for a loop. And then, you circle all the way back to Thoroughgraph, and the 4 is way too slow to win this race on Thoroughgraph. So you're like, okay, now what? And this is one of those races where, you'll probably find whatever horse you like, you'll probably find a price to bet, tomorrow, 5 minutes to post, because I think the tote board's going to be all over the place here. And sure, the 9's going to take the money, the 1's going to take the money. But other than that, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you have a bunch of options that are probably value type bets.
Yeah, Matthew's saying that every horse in this field is rising by a significant number in the class figure he uses. He likes the 4, the 14, the 2, and the 11. So the 4, obviously, Turner Loose. Who was the 14? California Angel here. The George Leonard horse here. Where did he win? Oh yeah, he won that Keeneland. He won the Keeneland at a really big price. That was the other race that Turner Loose was in. Yeah.
So before you make fun of BetMix, Matthew is a big BetMix guy. So no more making fun of BetMix while he's in the house.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he won. He's got a YouTube video out there. He won what, 30,000 with BetMix?
Oh, nice. Cairo Memories is another horse. The Bob Hess and it's the first week of the month. Caleb. Cairo Memories.
You know what to do.
Oh no, Rent's due.
He's got a good draw.
He's got a good. Oof.
No.
I think the California turf division, California, I think is terrible. I mean, and that's kind of my argument for Cairo Memories, as well as the other horse, the 10, I guess.
The 10, Helen's Wells. Yeah, it looks like Charles Blaha was asking about the 10 there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it just the 10 has a tough post as well as no speed, so he's going to be in for a rough trip. And then, I mean, the 2 drew well and is open to improvement, but she's just slow, and I don't think there is much in these California races. I'd much rather prefer an Eastern-based horse.
Yeah, but the 10's got Turf God and my personal friend. I've actually shook this man's hand, Alberto Rispoli aboard. Although he's had kind of a rough go of it as of late. Hit a little bit of rough time at was it the Del Mar meet, or was it the Santa Anita meet? Maybe even both of them this fall meet. And he's kind of hit a little bit of a slump. I mean, he's still 20% of the year, but yeah, Rob thinks that California Angel is going to be on a lot of tickets.
I've seen a lot of love for this horse, and I mean, truthfully, I don't understand it, but I have seen a lot of people talk about this horse.
People love those Keeneland horses, man. The horse won a nice race at Keeneland.
It's the Raphael angle.
I do agree with I guess Josh and maybe Gene, who are like, there's not really any speed in this race. I mean, it looks like it is the 4 or the 5 who go. I mean, I guess you could maybe make an argument that 8 tries to get involved, but yeah, there's not much other speed. And, I keep having Aunt Pearl flashbacks. Now, I don't think there's any Aunt Pearls in this race, but I definitely think somebody near the front probably does win. So I wouldn't be too keen to take any dead closers.
I'm just saying, like, I think the 4 goes, the 5 sits off, and I think it's going to be the 4 or the 5. And honestly, if the 5 wires and wins and I'm completely wrong, I'm still taking credit. But I mean, one of those is your pace setters. I don't think both go. But yeah,
I'd have them both as Bs, I think, for me, both the 4 and the 5, because I don't know which one goes, so I want them both in this case.
Oh, Brian's talking to himself already.
No, I'm not talking to myself. I was trying to figure out something intelligent to say there. Just
and so just mumbles come out.
Just mumbles come out because I've got several different products up here, and the pace situation is similar on all of them. So if you go by what Caleb said about how it's not that much pace, despite what it may look like, can you sit there and say, okay, the 14, the 7, the 10, do you toss them? Because they're going a mile, and historically, I thought at a mile closers did fair at Del Mar. But if both Brad Cox's horses don't send, and you've got maybe the 4 out there by himself, with the 2 and the 1 close behind, and the 5 loofing along, how can the 7 get there? That's my thought process now is, can the 7 get there? And, you're going to have the 9 in front of the 7. You're going to have the, maybe the 1, the 12, and the 11. There's a lot of traffic for the 7, the 14 to get through if there's not that pace situation like Caleb suggested.
I mean, the problem with these turf routes, right, is like if you go slow on the front end, like everyone's like, oh man, lone speed's gonna go on the front end. Like, yeah, if you're lone speed and you're clicking off 24s, like fine, like yeah, you got a shot. But if you start clicking off 24 and 2s, 24 and 4s, and 25 and 50 or something stupid like they do in Naira, you're just inviting the Chad Brown horses or the any of these European horses just be like, hey, I can literally walk this entire time, and then I just got to outkick you. So I mean, hopefully one of these I'm hoping one of these Brad Cox horses get out in the front end and set some reasonable fractions so that we don't have all these other horses trying to outkick because if you're gonna make an outkick race, then I don't know if Chad's only sitting 2 lengths off with consumer spending. I mean, maybe he outkicks all of them. I don't know, but I'm hoping that we're gonna get a little bit of pace here. But let me check. Gene thinks that the 14 is the best horse in the race, but with the post, it'll take an act of God to win from there. And yeah, Jimmy Two Eyes is asking if Turner loses a 3 cherry special, and I think we might have to double check here, but I believe we do. We do have. I believe we do have a 3 cherry special here. We got the E and we got the 8. So this might actually end up being. This might be a double A race here for me. But yeah, let's move on to the juvenile. Now, I was promised by Gene that we're gonna be able to make fun of him for whatever his pick is in this race. So I'm really interested to see what he's going to say here. But yeah, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Well, he's taking a 6.
You think he's taking a 6? Why is Florent aboard?
No.
Yeah, of course Florent's aboard. Why did I even ask? Why did I even? Of course Florent's aboard. I got to ask. Let's start it this way. Is anybody here really interested in Jack Christopher in the spot?
I'm gonna try to beat him, so no.
Yeah, I don't like Jack Christopher in the spot either. And I know Brian sees 9 to 5, and he doesn't even want to look at the PPs for that horse after that.
Hey, it's not my fault. It's just the way I'm wired. Just like Gene's going to play Florent on a sprinter in a route like Jack Christopher, but no.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one. I'm not a fan of this 12. I really like this. There looks like there's going to be some pace here, and I love Chad Brown. I love what he does with his turf horses. I think he's just an amazing trainer. But betting his Munnings horse, trying to go a mile and a 16th in a sprint when he's basically sitting just off the pace, going in a route where he's basically been sprinting, just sitting just off the pace in one-turn races. I don't see it. Maybe Munnings turns into Mischief and all of a sudden can get a mile and a quarter, and I just didn't know. But I don't know. I'm kind of against this one. I just think I really think the winner's going to come from off the pace. I'm a big Double Thunder fan in the spot. 20 to 1 on the morning line. I'm guessing this horse is going to take a little bit of money. And maybe be closer to 15 to 1, 12 to 1, somewhere in that range. But especially with the connections, you got Pratt aboard, you got Todd Pletcher trained. I think this horse makes a bit of sense. I really liked Rattle and Roll until he scratched, and I know Caleb this was the point where Caleb was going to just completely eviscerate me for liking that horse.
I like Rattle and Roll.
You liked Rattle and Roll?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like Double Thunder very much, but I like Rattle and Roll.
No, you like Rattle and Roll? Okay, so I was half right. I really like Double Thunder, and I really like the 10 Command Performance. I know it's still a maiden. I'm taking both the Pletchers in this spot, and I think one of them gets me home here, or gets me home in this race. It's not the last race in the sequence, but Brian, what are you thinking here?
What track are we at? Del Mar?
Yep.
All right, I'm going to say 2 words or 2 letters, but it's going to be the same letter. BB. Bob Baffert. I'm sorry. I said it. You hate me for it, and I'm okay with it. I like Barossa here. I think Barossa's turning into a really nice racehorse. And if Jack Christopher sets a pace like we might see, I think that Juan ruins Caleb's day with Barossa. Was it? I forget if it's Caleb or Mark who's always on against Juan at the wrong time, right? But it's one of those horses where I wasn't really big into Barossa, and then today when I was bored looking at my 5th product for the weekend of Thoroughgraphs, so I was like, "Holy crap, that horse looks like it might be ready." But it's one of those things. Is where do you go? The Corniche is going to take all the money, so you try and find. I'm trying to force a play somewhere else. Jasper, great. The 2. I love the comment here of no details perspective available for this race on debut. Really nice effort there, like that. Gives a lot of promise to me for that. But and I made the joke about American Sanctuary. If I was a superfecta player, I'd probably have this horse underneath in the 3 or the 4 spot, and I very well may, because the horse makes sense of getting up. I don't think the horse can win, but it's one of those horses that may come flying late and get into the money. So for me, I'm looking at probably Barossa as my top pick here. And then I'd probably put a little bit on Pinehurst, because as much as racing doesn't want to admit it, this is Bob's backyard.
I'm laughing because I had chat closed, and I just noticed that the horse that Gene likes, that he thought everyone was gonna make fun of him, Double Thunder for all the money. So he's like, oh no, Cherry and I are in the same runner. Do I bail now?
Do we know if that's good or bad yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
See, Gene brought up the point about Barossa. That is what caught my eye too. Is that used to be an old trainer trick? Is back in like the 70s and 80s, the trainers would come back in 2 or 3 weeks if they thought their horse was hot. They come back in 10 days, and now here's Baffert coming back in 3 weeks with a graded stakes horse. That's not like Bob. So something's going on here. Either this horse is super live, or he just wanted to have 3 horses here.
Yeah, I see the race similar as you guys, honestly. I don't like Jack Christopher. I think he's a sprinter. I think he'll be exposed, and I hated the post he drew. Maybe from the outside he could have worked something out, but that rail post is going to be brutal. I don't like Corniche. His last race is such an enigma. I mean, yeah, he won, but if you look at Brisnet or Time Form, he kind of paired his debut race. But if you look at Thorograph or Byers, he took a giant step backward when stretching out to 2 turns in that race. I don't know which one to really believe, but all I do know is he didn't get any faster. I really want to see my horses get faster in their second career start. He didn't do that. He has a bad post, and he has Mike Smith. So I'm not interested in Corniche at all either. I do like Command and Performance, who Josh talked about very much. I think he's probably your most likely horse to come running late if the pace heats up, which it looks like it should. I'm actually with you, Brian. So I'm sorry that I'm going to put you on the wrong side of Juan.
Damn.
I like Barossa here for all the reasons you talked about. I mean, that last race was a marked step forward for that horse. And, I think this horse maybe even has a way to, inherit the lead depending on, the way things go. We've seen Baffert steal races like this before. I don't like Pinehurst, but I don't really hate Pinehurst either. Horse needs to find a couple lengths, but has been off for almost 2 months and might improve a little bit. But really, I like the closers here. I mean, Double Thunder doesn't do much for me. I think he's kind of exposed. But a horse like OTWL Class, I think, is one who, second time routing. I think someone mentioned in the chat. That's an angle I like a lot. Well, I guess third time technically, but second time out, he did improve, and I think he's going to continue to improve here. The first of the month just passed. We got to pay the rent. And if you watch that race in the American Pharoah, both OTWL Class and Papa Cap gallop out huge at the end of that race, way out ahead of Corniche. So I think they both want all the ground they can get, and they both kind of make some sense here. I would prefer OTWL Class to Papa Cap, but I think they both are very usable. My biggest opinion here is just I'm going against Jack Christopher and Corniche, and hoping to get one of the longer prices is the winner.
Yeah, Gene says that there's a work Corniche where Baffert tried rating him in the morning, and he just looked absolutely awful. I haven't seen that. I'm not really a works replay guy. I mean, I'll watch replay of races, but I don't really watch the works replays. But I'll take. I mean, I wasn't really interested in Corniche whatsoever with that post, and I as a general rule, when I see a horse that's kind of set up with all these ones here, and a lot of the other horses also have all these ones set up here, and they haven't really won, especially 2-year-olds. If they haven't won, passing other horses, I'm not really super interested in trying to bet them at a short price. On the longer price, yeah, sure, I'll try and see if I get the speed of the speed, but I'll let Corniche beat me at 5-2. I'm going to take the closers in this spot, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Josh taking closers. Write that down. What's today's date? But
no fear about the Pletcher shipping to California, huh?
Which one?
I mean, I know historically he hasn't done well there, but the last Pletcher horse that I can remember that ran in California was Vino Rosso, and he probably ran the fastest race on paper I've ever seen. So I don't read that much into it.
Vino Rosso literally broke Thorograph.
Yeah, I mean, he ran like a -6 on the sheets or something. Like if Pletcher gets skunked on Friday, then maybe I'm going to treat him with a bit, more skepticism come Saturday. But going into this, I'm not really going to downgrade his horses too much.
Did you see? I forgot where it was, but I saw Jerry Brown in one of his analysis was like, yeah, it depends on how Brad Cox's horses are running on what I do here. It's like, man, it's kind of a lazy analysis there a little bit, but I don't know.
I think there's a comment in the chat too about Jasper Great, and I want to talk about this horse because I've seen a lot of people that are telling me they're going to bet this horse and they're going to use him. And
how many of them are Shampows though?
And Mark likes this horse.
Oh God!
Even before he got drunk.
And,
I don't think this horse has a prayer. I don't want to spend too much time beating up a 15-1. His final time was 154-3. I mean, yeah, he won by 10 lengths. Maybe he could have gone a length or two faster, sure. But there was another 2-year-old maiden race on the day where the top 3 finishers beat that time. There was a 3-year-old maiden race on the day where the top 8 finishers beat that time. And the horse who won beat that time by 3 seconds. I mean, that's 15 lengths. And that's a maiden race. I'm not looking at the absolute time. I know track surfaces and conditions are different, but relative to other races on that day at that track, this was still a slow time. Don't be tricked because it's arrogant. This horse, in my opinion,
confirming something. Rob just typed in chat here real quick.
Oh shit, is that true?
I'm confirming. I'm looking.
Yeah.
She says another one. Jack Christopher out of the Breeders' Cup. God bless it.
Chad Brown was watching the stream and he's like, "Damn it, guys, you're right. He can't go this far."
Chad Brown's like, "Oh no,
well,
wait."
Jack, they saw him in the morning workout with arms like this. Like,
No.
okay, I can't route.
I bet they hated the post.
Goodness, yeah, Rob's right. Jack Christopher just scratched.
Who's the
goodness?
So frustrating because
Corniche goes what 2 to 5.
I'm still against Corniche, but that
changes the whole pace picture. I actually think Baffert's will be 1, 2, and 3 at the half-mile pole now.
They probably will be. I mean, that makes me like a horse like maybe Oviatt Class a little bit less. He moves down to the rail. We're close to the rail. I mean, there's still speed in this race, but it's all Baffert. We saw this happen in the Breeders' Cup Classic last year when he had Authentic, Maximum Security, and Probable or whatever, and he's not going to send all 3. I mean, and he's probably going to send his $1.5 million purchase horse Corniche to the lead and make the other ones play offensive linemen. So this race is not anymore.
Oh man. Well, I mean, at least this just tells me I'm probably not going to bet this race by itself. I'm not going to. I'll probably just. I mean, man, it's looking more and more like I might just fire like a pressed pick 5 and just kind of let the chips fall where they may. Play maybe a couple tournaments or something and just take it real easy. Just have a nice relaxed Friday. No stress. Of course, Caleb is just looking over. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll believe that. He's like, Caleb's been at the track with me twice, and with me being like, yeah, no, taking it easy. And then he sees me firing away there.
$96 pick 5 or something. Just
2 minutes to post, and I'm capping a pick 5. Yeah, see, Rob, liar, he'll fire too twisted. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Matthew this is a try and super can be bunkers. Yeah. I really, it's tough. There's a morning line favorite or a real short price horse that you're against and scratches and is part of the pace pressure and is part of the reason that you're kind of against the other favorites. I mean, Corniche looks a little bit better on paper, but it's still kind of out in the parking lot. So I don't know. This is tough. I still think the 10 is still good enough that the 10 can probably still sit off the pace and win, but I don't know. I think it's going to make it a little bit more likely that maybe one of these Baffert horses just gets a nice trip. But
so I find it comical that Irad's going to go to California and have to go around the herding Baffert entries to win this race. There's irony here to me because if there was in New York, it'd be like, okay, cool. But now Irad's going to have that problem.
Yeah, Matthew's still thinking that you key the 5 and the 6, the Double Thunder and American Sanctuary in your tries there. He likes the 5, 6, 10, 12, 8, 9 for that's in order in Roy factor mix there. So
didn't realize he was on the 6. That's interesting.
Yeah, we were memeing on the 6 that Gene's gonna like the 6 and ends up being the 5, and now he's questioning his
He's back to the
questioning
6.
his handicapping. Now he's questioning his handicapping since Mr. Cheap Speed, ended up on the closer. But man, that was just crazy. I mean, that I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a look again at this pace a little bit closer. Maybe we'll come back to this race a little bit and talk through it a little bit more. Let's get through this last race real quick, and then maybe we come back and talk about what Jack Christopher scratching really does for this. But Juvenile Turf race 10. So Sir Euro will Euro sounds good. That might be dinner tomorrow. Sorry, I got distracted by food there, but Caleb, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, so for this one, I think the Europeans do take it. I think this will be their likeliest winner on Friday's card. Not the likeliest one on Friday's card, but the most likely European winner on Friday's card anyway. I really like Modern Games in here, the one horse. I really think Charlie Appleby could probably run 1-2 in here with Modern Games and Albar. I think they're the two best horses in this field, and they have the best draw. I guess I can probably retract that a little bit. Modern Games is probably quite a bit better than Albar. Dubawi Legend is very talented, but that's a horrible, horrible post in the 14 post. I don't know how he works on a trip from there. So it's a shame that he drew out there because that kind of sucks. But I really like the one here, Modern Games. I just saw Gene. Did you hear what Appleby said? Yeah, so I listened to the interview. It sounds like Appleby prefers Modern Games to Albar himself. That's where William Buick ends up, which seems to make sense given that's where he typically takes the first call for Godolphin. Modern Games has improved leaps and bounds in every start, and he's already run fast enough to win. As long as he doesn't get too bogged down in traffic from the inside, I really do think that he's your likeliest winner in this race. After him, there's probably a handful of horses I could talk about, but so Brian doesn't get pissy, I'll just stop there.
Question for you. Question for you, Caleb. If you had to guess, what do you think Modern Games is in the European market?
5-2.
Yep. I see 5-2. I see 2-1. I see 12-5. I see 9-4. Dubawi Legend is next. I see him as low as 11-2 and as high. Okay, dude, Europe has got to fucking stop. 33-5. What the fuck is that?
Europe can offer you 33-5, and I can't get paid breakage on a fucking show.
But yeah, I see 11-2 to 6-1. It looks like on Dubawi Legend, and then I think is it Albar? I think Albar might be the value here. I mean, he's going off at like 8-1, 6-1, some spots, 13-2, but he's 8-1. Like you get him 8-1 in like 20 different places. So before Brian goes off on this tirade, I basically think I might be able to get by with just the 1 and the 2 in the spot as well. I think that might be all I use. The only other horse I'm a little interested in is this 3 Dakota Gold. But I'm telling you, man, I mean, like Danny Gargan in the Breeders' Cup, I don't know if he's ever won a Breeders' Cup race. But this was the only American horse I was interested in. So I'm gonna probably take the 1 and the 2. I'm gonna have the 3 as a B or C type. I'm gonna at least have 1 or 2 tickets with the 3 on it. But Brian, tell me how Caleb is wrong and I'm right.
Oh, hold up. That's a trick question. I don't want to answer now. I think you both are wrong there. I said it. I think the 1 and 2 are not factors. I'm just going to say it. I think Luis tries to go wire to wire with Dakota Gold. I think most of the money should go through that horse. Gargan aside, he's only, according to what I can find, he shipped to Del Mar once in the last 9 years, and he did not win that race. But so I can toss that one out. But the horse appears to have a speed advantage based on what I'm looking at. And after that, I like the 5 and the 6. I think the 5 and the 6 will be well placed. Joel's going to have that slipstream horse placed well. All 3 of these horses, the 3, 5, and 6, look decent on thoroughgraph, and why not? Let's go for North America, and maybe one of these horses can win again. I really hate to have two, back-to-back Juan Hernandez races here with McKinnon, but a logical step forward from the 6 can win, and then the 5 and the 3 are, I mean, the 3, I really like the, Monmouth Shipper to California angle. Shu told me that's a good angle because Monmouth makes the best horses. So we'll go with the 3 Dakota Gold, probably as a lone A here, and maybe a little bit with the 5 and 6.
Caleb, can I get a Juan check on the 6?
That's a tough one. I thought his last race, like visually, was super impressive because he did clip heels and lose about 6 or 8 lengths in the backstretch, and then still re-rallied to win going away. But that field was bad. I mean, he needs to run a lot faster. You guys know how I feel about these California turf horses. I would bet him, but I would need probably twice that. I'd need 15 to 1. I'm not 8 to 1.
Well, let me see, Caleb. What if I told you can get 16 to 1 overseas right now?
That's probably approaching the price where I think I might be interested, but yeah, I mean, apparently he has had a monster work in the morning too. Back on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you see the like A- work he got?
I did.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to do. I mean, we'll see. This might be like a fuck it toss in, but I'll tell you, man, the last fuck it toss in ticket that I hit on was a $4,000 pick 4, which was that what was that horse? It was on Kentucky Derby Day a couple years ago.
Country House.
No, it's not Country House. Fuck that.
Oh,
dude. No. It was not Derby Day. It was Oaks Day. Fuck, what was the horse? It was some like random ass like works horse that like I'd never heard of, and it had like
something blue, I think, or blue something. I can't remember.
It had an A- work, and ended up going off at like 15 to 1 or 20 to 1 or something, and like the entire Discord was on it, which was hilarious. Like everyone was just like so fucking pumped up, and I hit the pick 4 for $1 and paid like 4,200, which was nice. Ryan saying that California owns the turf. I mean, yes, they own the land that the turf is on. This is true. Gene. I know Gene had talked about what Appleby said before. Yeah, he prefers the 1 over the 2 here. He thinks that Space Blues on Saturday is his best shot at winning a Breeders' Cup race this year. Oddly enough, Mark also said that Space Blues is his biggest chance to win a Breeders' Cup race this year. Matthew does like the 5 a bit. He likes the 3. The 3, the 13, the 2, 5, 6, 11. So who's the 13? Oh, Coinage. I've heard a couple people talk about Coinage. I don't think he makes any of my tickets. I mean, he did win that with anticipation, but came back as a favorite at Monmouth, and didn't run much there. But Mark said Caleb just so pretty, man. Gene just saying flow over and over and over again, on brand for Gene.
Anybody have any love for the Chad Brown horse in here, Portfolio Company? That's a horse. I mean, the Pilgrim has been a really productive prep race for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. I know he lost that race by a whisker, but I mean, he does have some early speed in a race that isn't loaded with front speed, and it's Chad Brown and Flavian Pratt. I mean, this horse gets rank when he doesn't get the lead. So that's kind of why I don't see the 3 wiring. I think this 10 probably gets sent. I mean, if you look at his first 2 starts, I mean, he was ranked when behind horses and had his best race when he was allowed to just run freely on the lead. So I'm thinking this horse gets to go. I mean, I don't know if he's good enough, but I do have some interest in this horse here.
I thought the jockey change there was interesting with Joel going to, staying on Slipstream and giving up this ride. I mean, I think you have a point there. A speed horse with Flavian, perhaps is a better decision. And I like Joel from off the pace, but you might be pointing something out there.
What was the race that you were talking about, Caleb? That was a bad race. I think Matthew's asking.
The race McKinnon came out of, the Zuma Beach.
Oh, the Zuma Beach. Yeah. Yeah, Matthew said he said it's fun listening to you guys, but I no longer think about post or pace. I try not to get too caught up in like post bias unless it's like really, really obvious, and then by that point, I feel like maybe some of the value's gone because everyone sees it. I still think pace is. I mean, to me, pace is like the most important thing when it comes to handicapping races, but. But I know there's some people who like don't even like look at pace either. So, and have success. I mean, I was talking with Tommy. I was talking with Tommy Massis the other day, and he's like, I just need the running lines and I need the fractions, and that's it. And like I can handicap the race based off that. And then it's like it's funny because like I think of that versus I think of someone. I mean, not to throw you under the bus, but I think of someone like Caleb, who has got like at minimum, he looks at 3 products for a race, unless he's just like degenning like Sam Houston with me like late at night. But yeah, I mean, to each their own. That's a nice thing. It's a pari-mutuel game, right? I put my money against your money, and we'll see what happens. But
yeah, totally true.
Yeah, Matthew's like, yeah, I never thought I would get here, but he's pure data these days. So yeah. Let's so yeah, I think that kind of covers the races here a little bit. We kind of did our first. Oh, actually, did anyone have any interest in this 11? Grafton Street?
No, I mean, I think he's a worse version of Albar with a worse post. So I had a hard time kind of going there, but you're going to get 2 or 3 times the price. So if you liked him, I wouldn't talk you off him.
I mean, he looked a little interesting. I know he broke his maiden finally, but ran pretty decent in that summer. I mean, I know he was behind 2 lengths, but the best of the rest there. So,
if I'm going to use another horse there, I don't want to go any farther, but I like the 8. I think O'Brien's horses are going to get lost in the shuffle a little bit with how well Appleby has been doing, and this horse, has one bad race off of a long layoff where he blew the brake and went to his face. That was against Native Trail, who's, the early 2000 Guineas favorite over there in Europe. He then came back a week later and won a race, a Group 3. Aiden thought enough to send him over here as the lone juvenile from Aiden O'Brien's barn. And, we're not even going to talk about him, and he might get totally dismissed on the board. This horse is open to more improvement, and I really think he could be sneaky here.
There's an Aiden O'Brien horse I really like on Saturday, and we'll talk about that tomorrow night. I know Caleb hates this horse too.
Yeah, I know who it is, and he's.
But Steven actually is bringing up a good point. He's like, the people submit for the contest. So if you guys missed last week, we did do a kind of a poll on a couple of questions. Actually, let me see if I can pull up the sheet before we go back. We'll touch on the Jack Christopher stuff here. But let me pull this over here and blow this up. But we did do a contest. I did talk with Bree over at Stable Duel, and she said that she would also toss in. But I'm going to toss in some on the wrong lead swag. Bree's going to toss in some Stable Duel swag, and we got a little questionnaire here. Let's see. Stop screen, share. Whoop. All right. Why are you laughing? Oh God, I don't even want to know what you're laughing at.
I wanted to ask you which horse is North America and which horse is Euro again.
Well, I changed it. All right, I changed it to any other world, and I'm gonna also change. I'm gonna change Euro to World here, just so you guys. But you guys changed it here. You guys did update. So what I want the answer to these questions. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM the On the Wrong Lead Twitter. You can send it to me on Discord. You can email me at ontherewronglead@gmail.com. And just answer these questions and give me your answers. Here are our answers, obviously, and the winner gets a bottle of bourbon here from us. But if you win here, I'll send you some swag out, whatever we got. If you got one hoodie or whatever, couple t-shirts, and then Bree's going to send something out too from Stable Duel. So go ahead, take a look at this. I'll retweet it. Try and get it to me by the end of the day today. I will accept entries to I don't know, maybe 10 a.m. tomorrow. If for some reason you can't get it to it tonight, but I gotta put all this into a spreadsheet and stuff. So make sure if you guys get a chance to go ahead and enter in that. But oh
my God, hey Josh.
Yes, sir.
It's worth pointing out question 3 is no longer valid.
What's question 3?
Jack Christopher.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Jack Christopher of the field. We're just gonna cut this question out then. I don't really want to try and think of a different question at this point. So we'll go ahead and we'll just cancel that one out. I did say if there's scratches or anything, I'm not if there's scratches of the question. So if Golden Palace scratches tomorrow, the question's just invalid. I don't want to deal with it. And the tiebreaker will be which jockey gets the most wins on the weekend. So, and if there's multiple winners, guess what? I'll just send out multiple swag. I really don't care. So we'll see what happens here. Oh, and I realize I'm sharing the PPs, not my screen now, but we get it. Anyways, so Caleb and Brian, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this race now, right? So we got a big scratch here. We got Jack Christopher scratching, right? What do you think? What do you think about this pace scenario? Do you think that we still have a hot pace here? I mean, the speedballs. I mean, the Romans horse, I think, is still probably going to go, but I mean, Pinehurst, Barossa, and Corniche aren't going to all three go out and duel still, right? So, what do you think? What do you think happens here with this pace scenario?
Man, I think Jersey Joe tries to screw it up, but I still think it's Corniche could, that's the prize, right? Corniche is the A-lister in that barn in this race. So I think there two are, like you said, the pulling guards here, and Mike Smith and Bob Baffert go off to La La Land.
Yeah, this race went from a race where I had a really strong opinion, whether it was good or not, is up for debate, but a strong opinion against Jack Christopher and Corniche, to now I have no opinion, because Jack Christopher was the horse that I needed to hook Corniche. From the rail, I did not think Jack Christopher could rate, and he would have to send. But now, I mean, Corniche, when you look at his debut, I mean, he's got 21 and change speed. I mean, there really isn't another horse in here that can go with him if he really wants to get the lead. His biggest competition is going to be his stablemates, who are not going to send, I don't believe. So, especially from that post, that even forces Mike Smith hand a little bit more to have to send. So I think Corniche clears, and I think that makes him a way bigger threat than I initially viewed him as. And I don't really know what I want to do in this race anymore. But it becomes a much less fun race for me to bet in, I can tell you that.
So somebody just pointed out that there's been no workout in the last 2 weeks for Corniche. Just an interesting conversation piece. Don't know if that means anything for here, but the last published workout was October 23rd, 2 weeks before the Breeders' Cup.
I'm curious. I'm looking at Brisnet, and I pulled these the second they became available. Did I just pull these before he had his last work, or did he actually not work from now until then?
I see the 23rd on DRF.
Because that is unusual, I'll say. And Baffert is pretty, meticulous about prepping and planning. For him to have, no works in, almost 2 weeks, that would be a little concerning for me. Yeah, that's something. I'm glad you brought that up, Brian, because that is a bit of a, I hesitate to say red flag, but it's not usual.
No, he usually sends them out a week before their run for usually 5 furlongs, no ass kind of thing.
That is very odd. I'm curious why. And it wasn't like, anyone who knows Baffert, he works his horses fast. I guarantee you scroll up to, Pinehurst, or you scroll up to Barossa, and you're going to see probably 59 and change for some of those works. That one, a minute and 3, it's fine, but it's not typical for Baffert. I'm not really sure what he's doing with this horse. That is a little unusual.
Yeah, so he ran on October 1st, had 15 days off, did 2 works, and now has, 13 days off? Just interesting.
Yeah, Rob says that he pulled his Briz after post draws. So 10:23 is the last work. And I think that's when I pulled these two. I pulled the pre's, but I pulled these after the post draw as well. So
did the American Pharaoh take that much out of Corniche?
I mean, if you look at, like I said, if you look at his last race, depending on the figures that you use, he either paired or took a huge step backwards. And the fact that he maybe, didn't come out of that race working particularly quickly, and he also missed a work. I mean, maybe I'm just trying to invent a reason to bet against him, but those are things that I don't like to see.
It's worth noting that Barossa has not worked out since the 24th either. Pinehurst has. Pinehurst has worked out twice, the 24th and the 30th. So it wasn't like barn wide. This is a selective spot for both Barossa and Corniche not working out again. Interesting.
Oh, that's an excellent point, Gene. Gene mentioned that Corniche looked like junk in one of his workouts, right? And then he's saying that that would play into the fact as to why potentially didn't get a second work. I mean, maybe he got excessively taxed in a workout. Maybe that last race took something out of him. That's a good point, Gene.
That was when he mentioned that he tried to rate him.
I don't remember what he said, but that's the one he asked Josh to pull up. I'll pull up XPTV after we're off the stream. I'm going to take a look at that. That's a great point.
All right, so that's a play against. It was already a play against, right? Even with Jack Christopher scratching, we had already made our arguments for other horses. And then we kind of zigged back to Corniche. Maybe just toss it when you stay with our initial thought process.
Well, so here's something interesting. I just Googled or just went on XBTV and pulled up Corniche, and he has a work on XBTV on October 30th. So it looks like maybe it just got left off the form because it's listed on XBTV. He actually worked in tandem with Barossa, who's also missing a work.
Oh, interesting.
Here, Gene sent me the work.
Oh, it's you can't see shit because it is completely foggy. They only have the last probably 20 seconds of work recorded.
Let's see if we get cease and desist. Let me share. And this will probably look weird because now let's do this.
Oh, that's a foggy workout.
Yeah, that's Barossa on the outside. Oh no, you're looking at the other work. Never mind.
Yeah, this is the work this is where the Gene was saying that they tried to rate him. You see Rockefeller on the inside, Corniche is on the outside. Yeah, I mean Corniche looks like he's just not traveling well. It looks like he's. I love how the Breeders' Cup all of a sudden I become I'm like, oh yeah, I can tell by the gallop.
Horses I saw a tweet about that. It's the guys who don't watch a workout the entire year are now using that to make decisions on who they're going to put money on.
Yeah, but I mean you can tell. I mean at least for me I usually watch the horse's head and I watch the jockey's hands. That's all. At least in races, when I watch replays, that's what I look for. So
yeah.
if I were
a lot easier if they're working in company. I think working solo, it's harder, but you can tell in company. I mean, I'm usually looking for how hard they're being asked and if they're late on their lead change or anything like that. But
so I'm not sure if it was the video that was choppy that I was watching, or it looked really awkward when Corniche went to go down the stretch, the leg work looked odd.
And
like you said, I don't know what the hell am I looking at here. No, that's not the word. That's not want that.
Yeah, so I'm watching the work that Josh just showed because his was a little bit choppy, and Corniche looms up and looks good out of the turn, and then gets scrubbed in the stretch and cannot get there with Rockefeller, which is interesting.
Nick Feldman saying Pinehurst #1 pick now with Jack Christopher out. He thinks he goes wire to wire. The thing about Pinehurst is I think Pinehurst is a sprinter. Pinehurst has got that. I'm like sitting here and I'm once again, I'm not sharing the right screen. I think the Pinehurst has got this really weird, like, I don't know. Pinehurst actually looks like a turf horse. Like the breeding. I mean, it's got turf breeding, so I'm kind of surprised. Well, I'm not surprised. They spent $400,000 on them, so of course they're going to run them on dirt. But I don't know. I think
he can go this far, but
yeah,
but he might get if there's no team tactics involved, he might get the lead.
Rob says that he knows it's a small sample size. The 4, he thinks the 4 looks good based on the Briz bias. So
hey, Joe Bravo, Jersey Joe.
Mm-hmm. Matthew's saying that we're on to something. One of the greats said to them directly at NHC, don't change what you always do, and people really do when betting heavy in a BC or an NHC in a big room. Honestly, that's very fair. And I was actually going to record I was going to do a podcast today, and I just got caught up with stuff. But that's one of the things, right? Is like with these big days, it's real easy to do what Brian does and start using different products. And although Brian, I don't think there's a product you haven't used out there. So you're kind of used to that. So using multiple products and looking at different stuff. But like me, I'm very much a look at Brisnet, base my opinions based off what I see on Brisnet. And then if I have it or if I feel like paying for it, I'll double check with Timeform. Right. But I always look at the Brisnet first. Then I look at Timeform. And see if anybody pops out that maybe I looked over or something like that. But that's very much been my style for the past couple months. It's kind of what I've been comfortable with. I've played around with moving the Timeform full time, and every time I've decided that that's what I'm going to do, I've gotten bopped in the nose. So I don't know if it's just timing or if it's just like I think I just do much more. I might do much better with Brisnet, but yeah, I think that's really important. Like, just because it's a big day doesn't mean it's time to pay for the sheets. If you're not a sheets player, don't just all of a sudden pay for the sheets and think like, hey, this is it, right? I'm going to be gambling more money, so I should buy more products. But Caleb's also, like I said, Caleb's also a guy who uses multiple products. When we were at Keeneland, Caleb, it's funny. I think like me and your dad were looking at one PP, and then you're like flipping through like 3 different things. Like I was asking, I was like, hey, how's it looking on Timeform? And you're like clicking on Timeform, you're clicking on all this stuff. But that's just how that's your day to day, right? That's your day to day. You got 3 products up all the time, so that's just what you do. Right. Whereas like your dad and I are more, hey, Brisnet. I mean, I use Timeform a little bit, but yeah, I think it's real important to do that.
Hey, you're talking to a guy who didn't look at a regular past performance for 3 years. It was all HTR and then optics and then HTR and sheets. And I didn't need past performances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters what you do as long as what you do is something that allows you to be somewhat successful. I completely agree though with changing your approach because it's a big day is how you get in trouble. If you're not normally a sheets player, don't try to use the sheets on Breeders' Cup. I mean, ask somebody if you're curious, like, hey, any sheets angle on this horse. I don't know what to do with him, and go from there. But don't go bringing in totally new products on big days because it's probably going to do more harm than good. Me, I mean, for better or worse, I'm a products whore, and I use 2 or 3 or 4 different products for most of my handicapping. So it's not a variance from what I normally do.
All right, kind of going back through some of the chat. Charles Blaha saying Papa Cap tough to tame, Pinehurst EX box. I don't hate that. I mean, I don't like the horses that you named, but I don't hate using 3 horses that are going to be slightly longer prices and hey, see if you can spike a price. I would probably try to leverage my opinion a little bit with another exacta to kind of even it out, but to leverage your strongest opinion. Like maybe if you like Pinehurst the most out of those 3, come back and play Pinehurst on top for another $2. And I don't know how much you're playing it for, right? But like if you're playing a $2 exacta box, come back and play another $2 exacta with Pinehurst on top and press Pinehurst on top with the other two or something like that. Robin saying that using multiple products and finding consensus, and that's totally a valid opinion. I mean, there's tons of times where like I really like a horse on Brisnet, and then I look on Timeform and I like the horse even more. I really like that Ravelli Turf Sprinter one timer, and he looks great on the sheets if you look at his synthetic horses. So of course, like I use that to like enforce my opinion, right? I mean, I'm definitely looking for any reason to want to like that Ravelli horse, but it's always good to use other products. But just I would be wary if you change your opinion greatly on another product that you don't use often. That's all I would say. Matthew saying when he was a Briz capper, or when he was a paper capper, he'd use Briz all the way, and then he started using programs always, and then bet mix. So I know he's big on bet mix. Yep, and he says it comes to this, much like favorites, we're correct on days about 33% of the time. You have to make hay on those days. Absolutely, exactly. Rob is catching up to domestic spending is out.
Yep.
That broke a while ago. That broke probably 6 or 8 hours ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it broke
a while ago, but I guess most people aren't probably spamming refresh on Twitter like I am.
Yeah, Robin's saying trying to learn optics. I think optics is a good product. I like optics. I think it's one of those things that you have to make sure that you pay for the actual subscription. Don't get it off of like Twinspires or whatever and get the PDFs. Make sure you actually pay for the optics subscription from optics, because as scratches, I think it's most useful when scratches happen and you can get the updated plot. And I think it really helps, especially if you have a hard time visualizing pace just based off the Brisnet data. I know it uses mostly Brisnet data, but there's some optics magic in there too that they do to do that.
With Matthew being a database player, his strongest tool may not be the plot. He may like the actual database that optics offers.
Well, Rob is saying it's a joke. Josh, so serious today. Man, Rob, come and break.
One joke I heard today was Josh taking that Ravelli horse in the turf.
God bless it. Gene says I did like how Ravelli gave Baird a mount in the second tomorrow as a prep for that Juvie turf sprint. I think Mark actually messaged me. He likes that horse. I think he likes that horse in the second race.
Who does Mark like in what race?
That Ravelli horse in the second race. He's got E.T. Baird riding another horse. I forgot which one. No balls. No balls. Yeah.
He's like 8-1, so you're getting the price. I love with all of my heart the 3 in that race, and if you get 4-1, I'll be going to the bank with 2 hands.
Oh boy. John McKenna saying that Jack being out sucks. It does, because we didn't like him. And we thought that he added to the pace scenario that would have set up for the other horses that I liked in that spot. So,
I think it actually sucks worse when a favorite I hate scratches out, more so than a horse that I like scratches out. Like, I think that makes me more upset, actually.
I kind of blame Gene and I on this, because Gene and I both like the closer. And
that's true.
And all of a sudden, like, us being on the same horse caused like one of the main reasons we like the horse to scratch. So we'll write it up to that. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us for Friday. I know tomorrow we're gonna be on a little bit later. We're gonna start at 8:30, just because the last race is at 7:30 Central Time. So we'll start at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. Kind of do a quick recap of Friday's races, and then we're going to get straight into the Breeders' Cup races. I'm hoping Mark will be able to join us tomorrow, but I know he's actually on vacation, so I don't know if he's going to be able to join us. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys coming in, hanging out. Make sure you guys enter our contest. I'll retweet that out again in case you missed it, and just get me your entry somehow, some way before, I don't know, before like 10 a.m. tomorrow Central, just so that way I have them. And obviously the Jack Christopher question is thrown out because of the scratch. So no worries if you said anything on that. But oh my goodness, wait a second, hold on.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Oh my
How drunk
God.
are you?
Very. I'm very drunk.
Yeah, I can tell. You look really happy. Like that's the happiest I've seen you. That's the happiest I've seen you since Saratoga when we were there in person. So, like, my goodness. Did you see Jack Christopher scratched?
I saw Jack Christopher scratched. Yes. Do we know what happened there?
He heard us talk about him on stream, and
Mhm.
Chad just said he can't win and decided to pull him out of the race.
He heard me and Gene take double thunder, and he's like, I cannot have this. But yeah, I see your Caribbean internet is already acting up. So
Oh,
yeah.
damn it. Sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you, Rob. And like I said, thank everybody who came on and we had some fun talk. We had some new faces here, and yeah, I appreciate you guys all coming in. So yeah, look at Mark's drinking a beer I've never even heard of. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah, we'll be on tomorrow at 8:30. Mark, hopefully we'll be able to be on, but he might just be plastered out of his mind once again. And
I will probably be at a wedding. More than likely, I would not be on.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Mark's not going to be on, but yeah, we'll catch you guys tomorrow 8:30 and get those entries into me. See ya.